Stone Cold, the Hellraiser is back!
Here we go! Evolution of the Shield!
John Cena versus the Showstopper!
Hulk Hogan and The Rock in the same ring!
You will never take my place at the head of the table!
Undertaker! On the Hell's Gate submission! Oh my God! What?
My God, Michaels! Just kick Cena's head off!
The Monday Night Wars have come to WrestleMania!
It'll be The Rock! It'll be Austin one-on-one!
Third and final, The Undertaker!
Do you believe in miracles?
The streak is over!
Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to WWE Retro on the WWE podcast on this Friday, February 10th, as we are 1 week away from Elimination Chamber. And I gotta say, guys, I am so bleeping excited because it is the first time that yours truly is ever going to have attended a pay-per-view live or a premium live event. As I've been to many Raws, I've been to a SmackDown, I've been to several house shows, but I've never been to a pay-per-view. And in my lifetime, I mean, not counting the Montreal Screwjob of Survivor Series 97 when I was 3 years old, so we're not going to count that. But this is just the second time a pay-per-view has come to Montreal in my life watching wrestling. The first being 2003's No Way Out, that was main evented by The Rock and Hulk Hogan. And on a side note, probably the best B-level pay-per-view WWE has ever put on, or one of, that's for sure, the return of Stone Cold Steve Austin. And the other being Breaking Point in 2009, which had D-Generation X versus Legacy in a submission match. So it is the first time in 13 and a half years that WWE will be bringing a pay-per-view to Montreal, to the Bell Center, to La Belle Province, for those of you who know how to speak French a bit. So, I mean, I am so psyched for this, and maybe I'll do the review show with Matt, as I will be able to give an in-person perspective. Obviously, Sami Zayn main eventing the show against Roman Reigns for the Undisputed Championship, and it is going to be absolutely awesome. But obviously, we're not here to talk about Chamber. We are here to talk about Retro and go back in time. And today, we are going to go back and talk about something I don't think we've ever discussed, and something that probably should have happened. And that is The Rock's face-to-face confrontation with Randy Orton in June of 2004. So look, obviously at this point, June of 2004, we are about a little more than a year removed from The Rock being a full-time in-ring competitor. He was fully into Hollywood at this point, but he was still coming back periodically. Like, he had come back in late 2003 to help Mick Foley against La Resistance. And then the last time we had seen The Rock inside a ring was about 3 months before this at WrestleMania 20 against Randy Orton and the rest of Evolution as he fought alongside Mick Foley. So The Rock and Randy Orton had some history going into this Monday Night Raw. And Randy Orton was in the midst of a really good run as the Intercontinental Champion that really put him on the map. He was just entering, I think, his own, and lo and behold, about a month later, they would pull the trigger on him winning the Royal Rumble and becoming the number one contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. So Randy Orton at this point, about 18 months onto the main roster, about 15 months into his run with Evolution, and he's really just firing on all cylinders and really bringing prestige to that Intercontinental Championship. One of the best runs of as Intercontinental Champion that I could remember, and to be honest, this run that Gunther is on nowadays is probably the first one that I would say has rivaled it since, the Miz as well, but not to go far too down the Intercontinental Championship rabbit hole. But the last time we had seen The Rock was when he had come back about a month before this to help Eugene, as the coach was bullying Eugene, for lack of better words, and The Rock came back to, get in Eugene's corner, help beat down the coach and Garrison Cage, the coach's henchman, and just a really feel-good moment. And for those of you who don't remember who Eugene is, very controversial character. Doubt that it would have flown today in the current political and social climate. But, I mean, it was basically a disabled man who was a huge fan of wrestling. And he was billed as Eric Bischoff's nephew. And he loved Triple H. and obviously Triple H is a full-blown heel at this point in time, and obviously not to be trusted, but he had made it seem like he was Eugene's friend. And heading into this Monday Night Raw, there was a match booked between Eugene and Triple H for the World Heavyweight Championship. And everyone was trying to tell Eugene, you know, this is bad, Triple H is setting you up, he's not your friend, including his handler, William Regal, Chris Jericho the week prior. But Eugene, obviously, a very innocent mind, was not buying into what they were selling and just wanted to believe that him and Triple H were going to have an instant classic match, a really good match that everyone would remember for all of time, and Triple H was really his friend. But there was one more person that wanted to let Eugene know that maybe Triple H had something up his sleeve. So, The Rock opens Monday Night Raw, surprises everyone. The show is in his hometown of Miami. And at this point in time, you know, The Rock's returns weren't so shocking, because it did seem that he was coming back every, I would say, 3, 4, max 5 months. He always kept his head in. Like, he was always somewhat relevant in WWE. He wasn't a full-timer, but he'd always peek his head in here and there, you know, make his presence felt, usually wrestle one match a year. And it really got to the point where, you know, fans were shocked, but they would still go ballistic. Like, The Rock was still, in my opinion, carrying that momentum that he had in the Attitude Era. It was still that recent. You know, a year prior, he had retired Stone Cold Steve Austin. He was still looking the same. Like, not much had changed for The Rock. He hadn't exploded in the world of Hollywood or just in the world period nowadays. You can make the case that The Rock is the most popular guy and the most well-known person in the world right now. So he comes back, and it always felt special, like I said, that he was back. But it didn't feel like out of worldly. Like, when The Rock comes back now, it's almost like, or whenever he does come back, it's almost like he's not even playing The Rock anymore. Like, he comes back and he's playing Dwayne Johnson. And Dwayne Johnson, in my opinion, is pretty boring. You know, that's just my opinion. But that's neither here nor there. But at this point in time, when he would come back, he was still playing The Rock. He was still playing the classic Rock. He would still have the same mannerisms. He would still be wearing the sunglasses. It was The Rock through and through. So obviously, The Rock had a very, I guess, short, but a significant history with Eugene, as the last time he had shown up on Monday Night Raw, he did help Eugene out. And The Rock had some advice for Eugene, and especially given the fact that it was Triple H, who The Rock had personal and significant history with as well.
Who's The Rock's friend? Exactly. His name is Eugene. So Eugene, for some ungodly reason, I know Triple H is your favorite wrestler, I get that, but you're going against Triple H tonight. No, I know, boo, you boo Triple H, but Triple H is a bad cat, I get that, but Eugene, The Rock says this, you gotta come out here. The Rock has gotta tell you a few things about Triple H. So Eugene, The Rock is gonna play off Bob Barker, Price is Right.
Not Eugene! It is the Intercontinental Champion. Wow, Randy Orton. And then sauntering down to the ring. This is gonna be very, very interesting, they are. Randy Orton, the Intercontinental Champion. I said earlier how great The Rock looked, but how great does Randy Orton look right now? Players, they got Randy Orton styling and profiling.
So, The Rock wants to talk to Eugene, let him know that Triple H is a bad cat, and Randy Orton's music hit. And I gotta say, like, I remember this happening, and it felt big right away. And this is one of those moments that you really feel that we were robbed of because The Rock stepped away from wrestling. And Randy Orton and The Rock, and we're going to listen to the rest of this promo shortly, and they kind of talk about what I'm about to discuss, it's a story that writes itself because Randy Orton was also a third-generation superstar. And 2 months later, Randy Orton would become the youngest world champion in the history of professional wrestling, a title once held by The Rock. So there were a lot of parallels to draw between Randy Orton and The Rock. Aside from that, both of them got over as the Intercontinental Champion in a heel faction. Randy Orton in Evolution, The Rock in the Nation of Domination. And just a lot of their, not mannerisms or candor, obviously they're two separate people and very unique in their own ways, but their characters, like the young, smug, well-dressed looking guy who was kind of too cool for school, especially when The Rock was a heel as, let's say, the corporate champion, I think there was a lot of similarities between The Rock and Randy Orton. And this is something that it was the one and only time we really ever saw them interact like this. Because the last time they'd interacted, it was pretty much just The Rock not piggybacking, The Rock's bigger than that, but like, it was essentially Mick Foley versus Randy Orton. That was the rivalry at hand. And The Rock joined in to kind of make it a bigger fight against Evolution, the 3-on-2 handicap match at WrestleMania 20. But to actually see these two staring across from each other inside the ring, one-on-one, it looked like an instant classic. It felt like an instant classic. It just truly felt like something like, oh my God, like, are we building to something historic here? And I know they eventually did The Rock versus John Cena, and I'm happy they did that. But I've always wondered about The Rock versus Randy Orton because of all the similarities that I just outlined between the two. And as Randy Orton started talking here, you really got the feeling that, like, man, if anything were to pop off, this could be something special.
Now, Rock, I hate to break it to you. Man, but Eugene is not here. Okay, actually, Eugene is with Triple H. That's right, Triple H picked up his newfound friend at the hotel, and he's gonna bring him to the arena personally. But Rock, now that I got you here, Rock, now that you're in the ring, that we're standing here, I just want to say I'm very happy because, man, we've never really had a chance to talk. I mean, sure, I remember beating you and Mick Foley at WrestleMania 20. I remember all that, but we never really had a chance to speak to one another. And Rock, what I've got to say to you is that you are yesterday's news. You are irrelevant. You are no more. Okay? There's a new third-generation superstar that's making his mark on Raw, and he is much younger, much more hip, and much, much better looking than you. And his name is Randy Orton.
So Randy Orton comes out, says a lot of truth here. You know, you're yesterday's news. Well, maybe not in the eyes of fans, but The Rock had put himself in that position. You know, he hadn't wrestled a one-on-one match in 14 months at this point. And Randy Orton was the new third-generation superstar. He was the new stud in town that all the girls wanted to be with and all the guys wanted to be. And again, just a lot of similarities here between The Rock and Randy Orton. And Randy Orton at this point in time, like, he was, 24 years old here, and you just saw that he had it. You know, at this point in time, you didn't even think John Cena had it as much as Randy Orton. Like, John Cena over on SmackDown did not feel nearly as significant as Randy Orton did at this point. And indicative of that was the fact that Randy Orton got a major push, 6 months before John Cena? 7 months before John Cena? And you could even throw Dave Bautista into that mix as well. So Randy Orton comes out, he really grills it to The Rock. And, you know, like I said, a lot of ways this is true. Randy Orton's spitting truth, and The Rock would have to respond. And although he couldn't necessarily refute what Randy Orton was saying, The Rock would respond in classic Rock fashion.
Yeah, exactly. No, we've never had a chance to really sit down and meet, but damn, I gotta say, you came out, you interrupted The Rock, you ran your mouth. I thought you were gonna come out and say, hey, good to see you, man, hey, you like my belt, or something like that, so I must agree. 15,000 of The Rock's hometown fans calling you, you are an asshole. Well, listen, The Rock knows who you are. He knows who you are. Third-generation wrestler, yeah, as a matter of fact, The Rock remembers very distinctly. Long time ago, remember meeting your daddy, Cowboy Bob Orton, yeah, with a cast on his hand. I remember that. And I also remember some cat named Soul Man Rocky Johnson whooping your daddy's ass. No, wait a minute, no, it keeps going back. Your granddaddy, Bob Orton Sr., The Rock's granddaddy, High Chief Peter Maivia, laying the Samo on SmackDown on his monkey. Oh, even back, way back more than that. Your big fat ass grandmammy, your mammy, they all complain. Hell, The Rock's grandmama, his mama right there, slapped the lips off all two of them bitches.
Grandma. Peter Maivia at ringside.
So you have The Rock go back in history in a lot of ways, really gets, starts playing on it's so funny. You know, Rocky Johnson, the parallel with Bob Orton Sr., the parallel with High Chief Peter Maivia. And like I said, it's one of those angles that really writes itself here. And it's one of those things that you just wish you would have gotten to see in a truly drawn out story with maybe 2 or 3 matches. And I gotta say, The Rock is funny as hell, arguably the best ever on the mic, but a young Randy Orton, man, he looked The Rock straight in the eye, and he did not feel one iota out of place.
Rock, you can listen to all these people chant your name, but they all know deep down inside who the man is. Thank you very much. Wait, come on, I'll tell you what, The Rock remembers you. I remember you. How about the gerbil? Do you remember the gerbil? Don't forget. The gerbil. We never knew each other as kids. The gerbil, what are you talking about? That's funny. We never knew each other. other as a kid? Well, let The Rock remind you. The Rock remembers in the locker room, your old man sitting there calling the Rock over. Hey, Dwayne, I want you to meet my son. There's Randy Orton. Yeah, I remember that. I remember looking at you, sitting there picking your nose, wiping it on your shirt, and of all things, you were sitting in the locker room playing with a My Pretty Pony. Oh, wow, a pretty pony? I never had a pretty pony. You never had a pretty pony? I didn't play with those. That was my sister's, okay? That was. Oh, The Rock remembers. Oh, yeah. And then your dad calls him over here. This is my son. I went to shake your hand. Hey, man, how you doing? You're like, oh, no, this is my pretty pony. Don't touch my pretty pony. Remember that? And then I don't remember. Shut your mouth. And then you just ran. You ran right by Andre the Giant, right by Junkyard Dog, smack dab right in the middle of King Kong Bundy's ball sack. Oh! And I was laughing. I was like, no, hold on, we're not done. I was laughing my ass off. And you were sitting there and your dad was like, hey, Dwayne, don't laugh. One day my son's going to be great. I looked up at Jen and I said, oh, no, Mr. Orton. I called him Mr. Orton because I respected Mr. Orton. Actually, one day, I'm going to whip your son's candy ass.
Very combustible environment here, King. Yeah.
So I'll tell you what, in tradition, in honor of tradition, how about this? How about The Rock whoop your candy ass right now, right here, live all over Miami?
Oh my gosh! Now, live! Here we go! We're getting ready to combat here. That's gonna be good.
So when The Rock is ripping Randy Orton, the My Pretty Pony, all this, Randy Orton's visuals, I would encourage anyone to go back and watch this segment rather. His visuals have just always been so on point. Like, look, you know me, I'm a huge Rock fan. I've always have been, although the ending of this episode may change that a bit, and we'll get to that later on, in about 10 minutes or so. But Randy Orton, you could tell he had it. I know I've said that a few times, but like the fact that he went face to face with The Rock here and did not seem at all out of place at this stage in his career, hadn't even won a world championship yet, less than 2 years onto the main roster. It really showed what kind of talent this guy had and promo ability, because obviously physically he had it, athletically, he had the look, he had the lineage, he had the pedigree, no pun intended, but the fact that he was so good on promos already, and not just speaking, but the fact that he could respond with the facials and sell everything The Rock was saying, and like the gritting his teeth as The Rock is just ripping into him, it was absolutely perfect. And you just felt, still to this day, watching this, I'm just like, this is something that needed to happen. It needed to happen, arguably more so than John Cena and The Rock. And as things really got to, as JR said, a combustible level inside the ring, the fans were really hoping that something would break loose between the two third-generation superstars.
Well, Rock, truth is, I got a match later tonight. I'm wearing my suit. I'm not stretched out. I don't think it'd be a good idea. Not today. Not today.
Can't rush things. Not ready.
No, you understand. I'll tell you, yeah, you look good in your suit, but I'll tell you what. There's one reason these people paid hard, good-earned money to see The Rock whoop your ass. And it might not be today. It might not be today. No, it might not be today. It's going to be tonight.
Oh my God! Oh my God, Lord! Wait a minute! From the hands! From the great one! Yeah! I'm going to smackdown over Randy Orton! Look, he's walking tall here! Wait a minute, Randy's still in his suit! Did he have to stretch out? No, he hasn't stretched out! He wasn't ready!
So The Rock lays the smackdown on Randy Orton. You get a small taste of what could have been, or what the fans were desperately hoping for, frothing at the mouth for probably. And then Eric Bischoff comes out and pours cold water on pretty much any hope that The Rock could have long-term implications in terms of the main event of Eugene versus Triple H. And it sucked, because I remember watching the end of the Monday Night Raw, and hoping that The Rock would come out, and that The Rock would eventually, put his nose back in the business of this storyline, because he was so, I guess, on some level intimately involved in it, had met Eugene personally, came out here to try and help Eugene out, had a physical altercation with Randy Orton, but Eric Bischoff pours cold water on it, and it's not meant to be. And I'll get to my final thoughts on that, him, getting escorted out of the building, and why in real life this angle was written this way. But let's just finish up this segment as The Rock is escorted out of the building, and Randy Orton's pain isn't quite finished just yet.
I don't think Rock has any choice in this matter.
The Rock will leave. The Rock ain't getting arrested in his hometown. No. Okay. Rock sees this. Well, look what we got. Is this what you send out, Eric Bischoff? Where's Snow White and the rest of the 7 dwarves? Some bitches. The Rock will go on his own accord. He'll go carrying the mic. He'll leave. This the best you got, Eric Bischoff? Sending The Rock out with a bunch of Oompa Loompas? I can tell you what, of all people you throw out of the building, of all people, live TV, you throw out The Rock? No wonder WCW went out of business. Oh! Yeah, here we are. Oh, look, okay, here we are, right. Oh, hey, mama. How you doing? Oh, yeah, no. The Rock's gotta go. Don't look at the people's package. Hell, you too don't look, but it's cool, man. It's all good. I like your show, Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. It's all good. Oh, look, okay, here we go. Now we're in white. Look at this. You're the tall one out of the bunches. What are you, their daddy? Yeah, we'll leave. This is the way The Rock is going to leave. The Rock will stop just again. Bunch of son of bitches. Oh, now they're going, hey, what's up, mama? Oh, how you doing, Molly? Good to see you. Okay. Damn, nice hair. Damn! Here, brother, put that on, man. You got that. Take that off, man. Come back. Here's some donuts. Okay. Got somebody. Oh, here are my boys. Yeah, Hamburglar, Grimace. Oh. Now I'm on the point. What it is, you, man. Damn, you don't talk. Every time The Rocky gets around, you talk, man. Don't get like that. I bet you know how to say supersize me, though, don't you? Here, take donut, man. I'm playing with you. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Why you make your face like that, coach? You pucker your lips like that. Why you make your face like that? What are you angry about? You angry with The Rock? Why? Because last time The Rock gave you the people's elbow because you were insulting people? Insulting Eugene? We're live here in Miami. The Rock is live. This microphone is live. Smile, man. Damn. You hear the fans. You hear the millions and millions smile. Come on, man. It's good. You're going to go out and party tonight. Miami Pie in the house. Yeah. The Rock will tell you what. If he's got to leave his millions and millions, and The Rock will leave like this. The Rock says this. Tonight, what's going to happen, guaranteed, is Eugene is going to whip Triple H's ass all over that ring. Guaranteed. Hey, somebody please shut him up and get him out of the damn arena. Please, get him out of the arena. Enough's enough. Oh, damn. Oh, Randy, you're still in the ring? Well, I'll tell you what, Randy Orton, I'll tell you what. If you think the ass whooping that The Rock just laid on you was bad, in 3 seconds, 3 seconds from now, you're going to feel something you ain't never felt. The Rock guarantees. Check it out. Randy Orton. 3, 2, 1. What are you talking about?
The speed of Orton is coming out of nowhere. Kneeling Randy Orton. And it won't be the first time an Edge and Orton get acquainted tonight, because tonight, ladies and gentlemen, that man Edge and Chris Jericho will team up to take on Evolution's Randy Orton and Batista later tonight. Look, here comes The Rock.
So as The Rock leaves, has some interactions with the Hurricane and Rosie, Molly Holly as he takes her wig off, Coach as he dupes him into thinking that they're friends, and then leaves him hanging with the high five, and he takes off, and that's the last time we would ever see The Rock interact with Randy Orton or be involved in any which way with the storyline of Eugene and Evolution. And look, this was a great segment. I thought it was in a lot of ways, in my mind, historic because, you know, you have the two best third-generation superstars in the history of professional wrestling, two of the best ever, period, interact. And in terms of a promo one-on-one style, it was the only time we would ever get to see this. But at the same time, and maybe this is recency bias because of what's gone on with The Rock not coming back to face Roman Reigns, it's kind of a piss-off. Because since The Rock walked away full-time from WWE in 2003, he has done this, like, so many times where he plants seeds for something and it really gets people's wheels turning and it just never comes to be. And it's not to say that I'm not appreciative that he would come back and do these segments or whatever, but, like, you plant a seed like this of being super invested in the Eugene Triple H storyline, and you have a full-on one-on-one segment with Randy Orton, a guy that you've already had a match with and some form of history with and a lot of parallels with that you know that the fans would like to see, and you never build off of that. And then you plant all those seeds back in 2014 and 2015 against Triple H, and you have that altercation at WrestleMania 31, and you never build off that. And then the last 2.5 years, everyone is talking about The Rock and Roman Reigns, and you tease it in your TV show, and you bring it up in interviews, and for all intents and purposes, it's all systems go, and then you do nothing to build off of it. It's not to dismiss what The Rock has done for professional wrestling and what he was 20 years ago and what he meant as, you know, as someone who was a mega fan of him. But it is starting to get to the point now, and look, this is 20 years ago, or 19, whatever it is. So, I mean, I don't like to do revisionist history, but the more and more I look back on a lot of these segments, the more I just look at it in a negative way, because he really led fans on far, far, far too many times. And I think it was almost insulting after a certain point. And I don't think it's because he did it once, he did it twice. He's done it, a lot of times that is really like, I don't know. I get it. Hollywood, Under Armour, XFL, Zoa. I get all that. I get that he's super busy, arguably the busiest man in the world. But if you can't do it, man, just stay away. And to be fair, after the summer of 2004, he did stay away. You didn't see him in a wrestling ring for 7 years. From August of 2004 until February of 2011, you didn't see The Rock in any capacity in wrestling. So, fine. I still think that was kind of shitty of him, pardon my French, but it is what it is. But when you come back and have segments like this, and it's not a one-off segment like with the Coach or the Diva Search or Rusev, stuff like this was actually building off something. This was, you know, us building off of his last interaction with Eugene. This was playing off of real-life potential tension and parallels between him and Randy Orton, building off their tag team match against one another at WrestleMania. And to just completely just go nowhere with it, I don't know. I remember watching that program between Eugene and Triple H throughout the summer of 2004, and I was expecting The Rock to come back every single Monday Night Raw, and he never did. He would come back one more time in August for the Raw Diva Search, and then we wouldn't see him again in a wrestling ring until February 2011. So, I mean, maybe I'm just bitter, maybe I'm just being resentful, but I just have to say that while the segment was awesome, it was something that, I guess looking back on, frustrates me. Because this is a match that anyone would have wanted to see. Anyone wanted to see The Rock versus Randy Orton. And the fact that we never got it sucks. It sucks that we never got The Rock versus Triple H again. It sucks that we never got The Rock versus Batista. But The Rock versus Randy Orton, a program that really writes itself in a lot of ways, it sucks. Especially the fact that they teased it here and they planted seeds. And once again, The Rock's schedule got in the way. But all in all, a very positive segment and one that I would encourage you guys to go watch back live because it was something special, especially when you consider how young and early on Randy Orton was into his career. Anyway, guys, that's all I got for you today. I hope you enjoyed The Rock's and Randy Orton's confrontation. As always, you can get me on Twitter at ADemarco25. You can get Matt on Twitter at Wrestling_audio, or you can email him each and every week for the WWE podcast mailbag. I won't be back next week as it is a pay-per-view week and we'll have a ton of other content, but I'll be back on Monday with Matt for the current state of WWE, and maybe I'll hop on for the review show after Elimination Chamber. Have a great weekend, guys. I will talk to you in 2 weeks.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.